Hi everybody, my name is John Cadieux. I'm a USMEF Global Beef Ambassador, and this is The Beef in Brief. Let's go! Hi everybody, John again, back for another episode of The Beef in Brief. Today's topic, tenderloin. Guess what's amazing about this piece of meat? It's super tender. It's gonna be good. Here we have it. This runs right up the back, right around here, and goes all the way up, right about until almost the top of the sirloin. A really, the most tender piece of meat on the whole animal. Now everyone says, you gotta pick up a knife. Just wait. There's a couple of pieces of trimming that you can pull right off of here. It's super easy to do it. Anything you can see that can come off first, just take it off with your hands, and then we'll get to the knife afterwards. This one's pretty good, so we'll do a little bit more trimming with our blade. They're actually very easy. This is called the head right here, or the chateau. And then none of this would go to waste. All of this would go into my stock. I would roast this off. I would put it in my jus and my demi-glace. It's all good. Now you see this right here. This is called silver skin, right there. You know why? Because it's silver. And it's really easy. Watch this. I just put my knife in here. I go to the end. And then watch it. Watch my knife. Super easy. Just pull your knife right back and it comes right off. It's very easy to clean a beef tenderloin. And again, none of this would go to waste. This would all go into my stock afterwards. And we would always use up every little piece of it to make sure that we've taken advantage of the whole animal, and we've given a lot of respect to this whole, that this beast has given us. They've given us everything, and it's gonna give us life. It's gonna keep us going. It's gonna make me feel real good after I eat this. So I make sure that I use every piece of it. Now that's pretty good. I get a little bit more of the silver skin off of here. Usually you're gonna buy this already cut for you, but it's fun knowledge. You know, I love learning about beef. I still go home at night after 8, 10, 12 hours of cooking, and I still read about beef because I find it a fascinating subject. The fact is that every piece of meat is different, every animal is different, and you can't know everything. So by reading, by learning, by getting better all the time, you improve how you cook, how you serve, and how you treat this animal. Now look at this little nice piece of meat right here. I'm gonna keep that for something else. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. There's a little bit of extra, look at that. It just comes off, just in my fingers. Really easy. You don't have to be rough with meat. Don't smack it around. Just be gentle. Be nice and easy. If there's any extra fat, the tenderloin doesn't have a lot of fat. That's why it's called the tenderloin. But you can take off a little bit, or you can leave a little bit. It's really up to you. It's your meat. You do whatever you like. They call me the beef boss, so I can do whatever I want. Now, we have a couple of different things. There's a whole beef tenderloin. Again, that goes up like that. So, right here, I'm having a dinner party for a couple of my friends. They're all gonna come over. We're gonna roast a nice piece of meat. There is the Chateaubriand, a very famous French cook, a French cut. The Chateau. That's about 450, 500 grams. That's how much it should be. That'll do it. I can roast that nice and slow, cut it up in slices. That'll be the most tender piece of beef you ever had in your life. Boom, Chateaubriand, right there. We have the filet. Look at that. Look at that beautiful marbling. That's what flavor is. That's what fat is. That's what proper feeding does. That's what great animal husbandry does. That's what the US beef checkoff does. It makes beef better. Filet mignon. Sorry, filet. Now, we take these little parts right here. This is called the tail. Now, I could cut this up, and I could put this into classically a beef bourguignon. That would be in that, or also a steak tartare. Super tender. I like a different muscle for my steak tartare, just because I like to use different textures in my beef tartare. So I would always cook this in a beef bourguignon, or a saute, or a stir fry. But there's lots of stuff you can do. It's amazing what you can do with one piece of meat. It really is. And that's what we have to do, is we have to maximize. We got great little pieces right there for our beef bourguignon. Now we have some nice chunks of meat here, right? What am I gonna do with this? I said it once, I'll say it again. I'm a caveman. I love sitting around the fire. I love shooting spears, going out on the hunt. And now I got my spear. I put it on my spear. I put some tomato. All great things. I got some onion there. Beautiful. Another chunk of meat. Boom, shalaka-laka. This is gonna be so tender. Even if you cook this rare, it's gonna be so tender, it's unbelievable. Look at that, that looks so good already. I'm gonna stick that together a bit. We call it sashliki or shish kebab or a brochette in French, the brochette in French. There's lots of different names for it. You call it whatever you want. I'm the beef boss, I'll call it whatever I want. You can't tell me, I won't tell you. How about that? You come to my house, I'll cook for you. I go to your house, you cook for me, you call it whatever you want. We'll make a deal, okay? We each get to do whatever we feel like, as long as we treat each other with respect and make sure we cook properly. And then I'll finish it with a nice beautiful mushroom on the side. Look at that. That's beautiful, right? That'll be the most, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, maybe a little rub it and a little bit of fresh rosemary, you know? Stick that little fresh rosemary, stick it right inside. It'll give it amazing flavor. So good. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of meat already. And I got lots left to go. Now, I can cut another filet. Look at that. That right there, my friends, there was no more tender piece of meat on planet Earth than American tenderloin. That, I guarantee you, you can take that to the bank every single time. But because this is a video and we wanted to make it fast, I'm gonna do the filet mignon or the médaillon. So this is a beef tenderloin medallion. Super fast because I like my tenderloin to be a little bit more on the rare, medium rare side. So we're looking about 38 to 44 degrees, about there. Anything more than that, you're gonna get into your medium rare, sort of your 42 to 46 degrees Celsius. And then anything above that, you're gonna go in your medium, 46 to 52. You can use great tools. They got probes now that'll tell you whatever temperature you want. And then I'll show you a little trick when we get cooking to make it better. So we're gonna put on our little filet mignon. This beef is so good, I don't need to add anything to it other than a little bit of salt. Now, because I've made this small, I gotta cook on a hot grill. So I make sure that my grill is like fire. Is the hottest I can make it. Because I want it to cook, whoop, that's hot. That's what it's all about, getting hot and fast. I take a little bit of brush because I want to make sure my grill is clean all the time. I don't want all my old flavors on there. And then I take a little paper towel with a little bit of oil on it and I just give it a quick rub. And then I make sure that it's not gonna stick and it's gonna look good. Now, I just opened that grill up and I've already cooled it down just a tiny bit. But remember, I'm cooking these little small steaks, so I want it to go fast. The filet mignon. Mignon in French means it's a cutie pie. It's a little cute steak. And that is a cute little filet. We have our filet mignon, a little bit smaller. Same amount of tenderness, amazing piece of meat. Oh, there we go. This one we might cook. We'll give you those little, like everybody likes those little checker marks. It looks great on the steak. Usually on bigger steaks, I wouldn't cook it that way just because it's not my thing. I like color, I like flavor on my steak. Like I said, I love sitting around with my friends and cooking steak on an open fire. I don't think there's anything better than that. And the beef tenderloin always, again, like I said, always does better job, a little bit more rare on the rare side because it's so tender. Now, if you don't have a probe at home, don't worry about it. Just use your hand, look at that, right there. Right there in the meaty part of your hand, that's a rare steak right there. Touch the two fingers, first two fingers, medium rare. Medium, middle finger, medium. Then we're getting to our ring finger, medium well, and then our well done. The pinky, see that? It tightens the muscle and it feels tight. So you always go by a restaurant and you see these guys touching their steak. That's what they're doing. They're checking out how tender is that, or what temperature they think that steak is at. Now you can see, I got some nice marks happening. And again, through feeding and through being out in the grass and being very, very happy animals, this is what happens. You get what's known as carbohydrates and amino acids, and then we add heat to that, and we get what's known as the Maillard reaction. That's the caramelization of sugars in our beef. And that's what's happening on the outside of this meat right now. It's actually caramelizing a little bit. Now, there is So much you can do with these ones. You can put a piece of foie gras on it. You can put some truffle sauce. You can call that Tenderloin rossini. You can do a little bit of a mushroom sauce with a demi-glace and call it steak Diane. You can do steak au poivre, roll that right in black peppercorn and do it on the grill super hot and do a little brandy cream sauce. There's so many things. This is such a tender piece of meat, and it is so versatile. All right, now you see all this beautiful color that we built up. Again, these are just little filet mignon, so we don't need that much time on the grill. Super fast. You want to have a nice, easy meal, cooked in, you know, you can cut this even a little bit smaller and have it even more rare, or it'll cook a little bit faster. So these are great for if you don't have that much time and you want to make sure that you have almost guaranteed tenderness. My mother's from Ireland, and she always says everything's better with a little bit of butter. So I always put a little bit of butter. Everybody always remembers what their favorite meal was, and everybody always says it was my mom's cooking. And you remember that because it was made with love, and that's what's important. So my mom always said everything's better with a little bit of butter, and that's what I do. Add a little bit of butter. So thank you, Mom, for making me cook with a little bit of love and a little bit of butter. Mushrooms,